Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new Dexter Resurrection Theory discussion. And as you guys know, we love talking about all these supporting characters, this menagerie of killers. We have spoken a lot about a number of them.
Mhm.
We haven't really talked a ton about Eric Stone Street's Al, aka Rapunzel, and this is the moment where we change that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really interesting character because we've only seen a little bit of him, and every time we see him, he just seems like normal, sweet Rapunzel. He's just like this jovial guy
Mhm.
who's like, "Hey, Mia, so happy to see you. Hey, everybody. Oh, wow, we're going on a helicopter ride." I'm telling you right now, he is the darkest of the killers. Absolutely 100%. I mean, even just the fact that he's like cutting off people's ponytails to be, and he's giving them to Leon. There's something that's very dark that's happening here. I truly believe he is the grimmest of these killers. And today we're going to be talking about tinfoil hats, that he will be the person that's going to end up killing Harrison's friend, Elsa. Elsa has been wearing a ponytail pretty much every single scene. And it feels a lot like Harrison's going to need some sort of, we'll call it motivation or a catalyst
Mhm.
to either be moving into one of two directions. And we've talked a little bit about this, in our preview. Is he going to end up moving into justice in either starting to kill people more or
Mhm.
maybe law enforcement? And it feels to me a lot like something is going to happen to Elsa. We are going to see Rapunzel kill Elsa, cut off her ponytail, and Harrison is going to end up going down one of two roads to try to get to Rapunzel. But of course, I think Dexter will get to him first.
Yeah, and I think this is going to make for a really interesting discussion because then we're adding on top of all this the question of, okay, how are we going to connect in the first place Elsa to Rapunzel? And I
Right.
think there's a lot of different roads that we can sort of follow along here. And I think to just go back to something you mentioned a minute ago about Rapunzel being so terrifying, like the
Yes.
weird comparison to me is I think it's similar in a way to how a lot of people have extreme fear of clowns. Like, I am not one of them. I am a proud clown defender, supporter. Listen, not all clowns are evil.
Yeah, I'm mid on clowns.
Like, I just feel like they could be fun, but I think
Yeah.
this is the same sort of thing where you have this image in your head of something that's supposed to be innocent and fun, and the idea of it being warped on its head. It's like that sort of blind side of your brain is so terrifying. It kind of pushes everything to another level than even something you look at. Like, you look at Gareth and you're like, okay, that guy is probably bad news, which is why David gets cast in all these roles.
Yeah.
But there's a reason Eric Stone Street was on Modern Family. Like, you just want to hug him all the time. You do not want to hug this guy.
Yeah, he was also on American Horror Story though, and he was pretty terrifying over there as well. I just think that because they seemingly are, I feel saving him until the end. Like, yes, Tattoo Collector's gone. Mia seemingly gone.
Mhm.
Is she? Isn't she? There's a lot of discussion on that. One of the Gemini killers is gone. It feels like Dexter is now focusing on dealing with the other one. It feels like they're saving Rapunzel to the end because he's the worst of the worst.
And I think that will be really interesting. I think it's also going to give Eric just some like outstanding material that after being a sitcom dad for so many years, he was
Right.
probably just thrilled with. But okay, we have so much more to talk about here. Before we dive into any of it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we love Dexter. We love chatting with you guys about Dexter. We do several Dexter Resurrection videos a week. We have
Yep.
reviews, we have previews. We, of course, have all sorts of fun theories. We are just so excited to continue to dive deeper into all of this.
Mhm.
And we want you guys to be a part of the discussion as well. We love hearing from you. And
Mhm.
thanks so much to everybody who helped us get to 75,000 subscribers. It was
Thank you.
like such a wonderful achievement. And I'm still like endlessly grateful for
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And
Mhm.
if you do want to talk to us further about Dexter, you can follow us on our Patreon. We're having more discussions over there. And
Mhm.
I'll leave a link for you below if you do want to join. It's another great way to help support us here at the channel and talk to us further about Dexter.
Thank you guys. We very, very much
Thank
appreciate
you.
your support. Okay, so from the jump here, I think the biggest question I have when it comes to the whole, all right, is Rapunzel going to get Elsa or going to kill Elsa? It's okay. How does he know she exists? Where does he even know to find her? Like, it all makes sense, but okay, the obvious tinfoil hat theory to make is that,
Hmm.
okay, there's a good chance Al is just staying at the hotel and he just sees her kind of walking by and
Yep.
he's already well aware of who she is.
Yeah, it could be random. He probably is staying at the hotel. I mean, it's I don't think it's a coincidence
Mhm.
that Harrison is working at a hotel and then all these killers have come in and are probably staying at a hotel. I know that Mia was staying at, an Airbnb or
Mhm.
whatever, but maybe he's just like, you know what? I'll just stay at this hotel. It's a nice place. Oh, here comes Elsa, sort of thing. It could just be a coincidence. My other tinfoil hat theory, though, is
Yeah.
that the people that Al kills are not just a coincidence, that it is someone that he takes time and enjoyment in stalking first and watching, either watching on their jogs or watching on their routines, going for a coffee at this time, going to pick up their dog at this time, dropping off their kid at this time. And part of the stalking of it all is something that he gets a lot of enjoyment with, so that he's able to figure out exactly when the right time is that he's able to take them. And not obviously, he's not just, killing them and cutting off their hair. At least that's what it feels like to me. It feels like this is a lot way more grim than that. So it could be that he stalks and follows Dexter to then get to Harrison to then see Elsa.
Like, yeah, it feels like it could be sort of a transitive property of murder in that
Could
way,
be.
where, like, we know that, okay, all these people are here primarily for Prater's convention, if you
Right.
will, to sit down and have the dinner. But we've also seen people, commit to some extracurricular activities. Lowell was very excited to do this. Mia
Right.
ends up doing it. And with a guy like Rapunzel, it could be either or. It could be a situation where he comes and stays at a hotel explicitly planning and thinking, like, okay, if I pull a Mia here and I'm just at an Airbnb, like, I'm never going to meet anybody. I'm never going to see
Right.
any potential victim. So he might have had that plan for the get go. Or it is a situation like you're explaining at this point where it's like, okay, something is wrong with this Dexter guy. I need to sort of watch him, or I guess this red guy rather. And then, yeah, it all sort of links eventually in to a character like Elsa. And what we can probably say about this guy and a lot of Dexter villains is that there's something psychologically broken in them, that
Hmm.
when they see a potential victim, maybe any other impulse goes out the door and he's just suddenly like, okay, you know what, Red can wait. I got to go and kill this person.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like, at least kind of from the setup with the tattoo collector from that first dinner, where he's got his basically his slideshow
Uh,
of like, this is the next victim, this is her getting her tattoo done, she should be done in a couple days. I'll have this trophy for you, Leon. It feels very much like, yeah, they're all getting paid very well, but that they are there to sing for their dinner and dance for Leon, to be able to get this kind of money, to be able to then continue living the lifestyles that they're living.
yeah.
I mean, Mia decided that she was going to kill somebody while she was there, but it might have been a requirement from Leon, where he's like, you'll get extra if you kill while you're here, and you can bring me, pictures, trophies, something else, video, anything.
For a guy like Al, I have to assume that that motivation then would be exemplified because we can't overshadow the fact that this guy has a family. He has other
Right.
people that he has to care about. And if, his kids are being cared for, is anyone really going to question in his family how he's coming up with this money? Maybe just like,
Right.
oh, my business trips are just very, very successful. And they're like, okay, our life is good. We won't think about it any further than this.
Or he's putting it away for if things go sideways and he needs to like disappear himself.
Yeah, I think there's a couple just interesting scenarios that could unfold as a result of all of this. But now let's then progress into everything you laid out at the start of this video, which is this, okay, this is all maybe how we see Al discover Elsa, but let's
Right.
just assume the worst here. This is still a pretty dark show, and
Yes.
Elsa ends up being killed. Like the scenarios that could unfold as a result of that for both Dexter and Harrison.
Absolutely. If Oh my god, if Elsa ends up getting killed
Yeah.
and Harrison, I mean, Harrison's a friend of hers and is interested in her and has been helping to take care of, her kid a little bit. He's very involved with her. That then also could be the thing that's going to like really bring him to this whole catalyst of, okay, which path am I going to be taking here to get justice for what has happened to Elsa? Is it going to be, I'm going to be basically Batman, the Dexter of it all? I'm just going to start killing. I'm going to be the one to find Rapunzel. I'm going to help my dad. Me and my dad, we're going to take care of this together. Or I'm going to go in a different road and I'm going to try to find justice like my Aunt Deb, because it kind of feels like they've been setting that up.
It does feel like they've been setting that up, and it feels like they've really worked hard this season as opposed to New Blood to differentiate Harrison from Dexter. That,
Yes.
okay, he's not his father, but I think a major landmine that's going to be thrown in the midst of all of this is just this idea of Dexter and Harrison are seemingly on better terms right now.
Mhm.
If Elsa dies, if you're Harrison, like maybe you are eventually going to go down one of these other roads, I feel like your immediate reaction, and even though he's older and more mature than he was in New Blood, he might still be like, oh my God, my dad is back in my life, and all of a sudden, someone else I care about is dead. Like, if there was a reason to resent his father, like, this is obviously it. Now, we don't know for sure that Dexter or Red would be responsible for what happened for Elsa. It might just be coincidental, but there's a good chance he could be responsible. Or even if he's not, because of Harrison's trauma, there's still a good chance he's gonna blame his dad regardless.
Absolutely, that could be a thing, especially if it turns out that Al is sort of stalking people, and that if he's like watching out for Red, who leads him to Harrison, who leads him to Elsa, and then Elsa gets killed, Harrison already kind of is struggling a little bit with that idea of
Mhm.
like, oh, because my dad is Dexter, it has fallen now that, Aunt Deb is dead and, my mom is dead, and it, led Trinity to my mom, and like all these tragedies that have happened because his dad is involved in killing.
Yeah, I'm more intrigued by the idea that you brought up of Harrison joining law enforcement, just because even if he's mad at his dad for a little while, maybe he'll get over it. And then maybe this will inspire him to be like, okay, I can actually take a little bit of my life into my own hands. It's
Yeah.
obviously an excuse to keep characters like Claudette around a little bit more, which I think is useful, but it's such an homage to the original show and a reminder that Harrison's not going to be Dexter, and then maybe Harrison can actually help to some degree to take someone like Rapunzel down.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be very interesting road if he does decide to go down, the murdery road where Dexter's like, okay, I know who the person is who's done this.
Yeah,
I'm going to take care of him. And Harrison's like, I need to be part of this one. You know what? I am trying to take another road, but I need to be part of this one, because everything that happened in New Blood, he wasn't there for it. Dexter was like, "Oh, we're the same. We're the same. I'm
yeah.
going to teach you and we're going to do this together. Father son murder time." And Harrison was just like, like, "Okay, I've got some of that in me, but I'm not the same as you." While he's still not the same as Dexter, this might be one where he's just like, I need this revenge. This is somebody that I really cared about. I feel helpless in this. I'm not part of law enforcement yet. This might be the only way for me to actually get some sort of peace, to watch this person die for what they did to someone that I truly care about.
There would be something intriguing, and I know this is macabre, but this is a macabre show about
Right.
the idea of Harrison and Dexter having a father-son killing session, just
Right.
because like we have seen all of these group attempts over the years for Dexter and someone else to team up. I mean, obviously
Yes.
most recently with Lady Vengeance, and 90% of the time it's a total disaster. So I feel like if there was ever a time it was going to work, if Harrison goes down this road, like this is probably it.
Yes, and it might end up just kind of being like almost like Lumen, somebody
Mhm.
that, we really like a lot.
Lumen.
Where she had her own dark passenger, and once she had taken care of Jordan Chase and, his cronies, all those goons, then she felt relieved that
Yeah.
her dark passenger had gone. She felt relieved and she was able to move on. At least that's kind of what they're telling us, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the same for Harrison, where he's always going to have that darkness in him. But for him, that this is his Lumen moment, that he needs to be part of this Rapunzel killing
Yeah.
so that he will then be able to let go and move on.
And then Lumen shows up in the finale and we get to see her for season 2.
Let's go.
Okay, this is the one thing I do not want. I'll just throw this out there. Is
Okay.
that, whatever's going to happen to Elsa's kid in the event that Elsa ends up getting killed off here,
Right.
I don't need to see Harrison become a surrogate parent for this kid. Like, I'm not saying I don't want
No.
this kid to suffer, obviously. Hopefully there's another relative or somebody of Elsa's.
Grandparents,
Yeah, like somebody who can come and take care of it, kind of like Aster and Cody here.
Right.
It's just that we already have a story of parents and children that's being told with Dexter and Harrison. I just worry all the time in situations like this. It's like we do not need Dexter Resurrection to become too multi-generational or too distracted with all of these other things, because as it stands, and I mean, I think we both agree, this season has been fire.
Yeah.
They already are kind of teetering on it. We have a lot going on here in between these killers and Leon and Batista and Harrison. So it's just like we need to focus in.
Okay, here's one other thought of what if it's not Rapunzel that ends up killing Elsa? And what if it's Gareth too from the Gemini Killer?
Okay.
Because the way that we've seen the pictures of the Gemini Killer that is killing like a father and a son or a whoever and whoever, they're kind of like mostly related. This is so grim.
Oh, I know
but
where
this
you're
is a
going.
grim
This is
show.
really grim.
It's so grim. What if the Gareth 2 Gemini Killer decides that he's going to kill Elsa and child?
Okay.
I hate myself for saying it, but
Listen,
let's just,
let's
we
both-
gotta, all theories are on the table. I still think it's going to be Rapunzel, but,
Yeah.
that would take care of the child.
I think the reality
issue.
is it's just, it's dark, but I think
feel terrible.
a lot of us, let's be real, a lot of us have probably thought about it already at this point. It's a dark show. These characters do really, really terrible things. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing we have to remember with Gareth in particular, presuming that Gareth 2 knows what happened to Gareth 1,
Right.
they're gonna want revenge, right?
Right.
And they're gonna want revenge on somebody who's tied to the person they may feel is responsible. And if
Right.
they feel that Red's responsible, it's then very easy for them to stalk Red or slash Dexter. And then we get through that chain reaction. Like it has to be on the table. Something is gonna happen to a character that's innocent before the end of the season. Like maybe it's Elsa, maybe it's Blessing. I know a lot of people think Blessing's the Ripper, but it's just like there are a lot of characters that are a possibility in very unfortunate ways.
Absolutely. We know that the Gemini Killers are very good at stalking as well and
Yes.
figuring out links to links to links to links. So, I mean, it could be, but I truly think that it's Rapunzel is going to take out Elsa and is going to then hit this chain reaction of, is Harrison going to go down the murdery path or the justice path of maybe becoming a cop, or murder then cop?
Well, that's where we are with this whole crazy Rapunzel discussion. What's going to happen to Elsa? But do you guys think that Rapunzel is going to take out Elsa and all the seeds have been planted there? What do you think is going to happen to that character in general? Give us your thoughts, your theories, and of course, hit that subscribe button for more Dexter Resurrection coverage. We really appreciate your
Thank
support.
you.
And we also really appreciate everyone who is joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. Thank you so, so much. We will see you here next time.